Guys, what is going on? My lord. I think we have Brad Clements Law as a attorney here with Ticket Talk, right? Is our main sponsor of the show, producer MCF. So what we're gonna do is obviously talk about. There he is, Brad Clements Law. He's got a nice dog there, and he's advocating for plaintiffs and whistleblowers. And really, what we brought him on for is to fight for your rights for StubHub victims. If you're a buyer or seller, which we're going to go over on this show. This show's dedicated to him and basically recapping the podcast. So I'm going to get to that in a second. TicketCon 2026 MCF. Believe we're going to be out in New Orleans in the heat, in the dog days of summer on July 26, 2026. Guys, we're going to come in, reimagine ticketing. Anyone's welcome to attend. I'm going to get the itinerary out, I think, by end of the week. So I got some work to do. We're going to put out the itineraries, objectives. We're really going to push ticket sales, guys. We've had a lot of signups over the last couple of weeks, but I really want to amp it up so we can cap it like they do in Toronto, Ontario. No, we're not going to cap anybody. Anyone's welcome to attend. I want the fire marshal throwing people out of the Contemporary Arts Center. So sign up. Link is in my bio on X. My Lord, but let's go back to our exclusive interview, which we've showcased all day today on X. So producer MCF is going to play a clip. I'm going to recap it. I believe we have 3 of them. So MCF, play the first clip of the interview with Brad.
And I was in a totally different area of law and investments. And then I had a friend that got totally screwed over by StubHub. They refused to give him a $5,600 refund. They never made him an offer. They never even acknowledged the, offer that he made, where it was just actual damages, $5,600, no attorney fees, no interest, nothing else. They just ignored him. So he had to bring me on, and I was really just trying to help a friend. But what I ended up learning from this case after 10 months of fighting StubHub is that there are, not just hundreds, not just thousands, but beyond that, many victims. And I'm talking both buyers, small sellers, large sellers. That's sort of how I would group them. And in that case, we ultimately got my client the full $5,600. He also got interest. And then StubHub had to pay me attorney fees of roughly $29,000. And then they also had to pay arbitration fees of roughly $30,000, not to mention their own attorneys at Holland and Knight. And to make matters even worse, which we'll get into at some point, at the end of the arbitration, after 2 days and cross-examining my client for, I think it was 5 hours, they actually admitted that they owed him the $5,600. So they put him through 10 months of fighting, arbitrating, evidence. They brought 85 exhibits. Okay, why did you do all that if you're just going to say at the end that you owe him $5,600? So what I interpreted the whole charade as is that these guys are trying to deter me. They're trying to deter people in general to make it so intimidating, so difficult that you just don't want to bring your claims.
Man, so what do we do? We recap that there, obviously, with Brad. So really, in a nutshell, at a high level, what Brad is explaining in that segment of the interview is that StubHub will lie to you. They will say that they are covered and so forth. They'll make up these stories. And an example where it took 10 months for that seller that used Brad to get everything back. They ended up paying them back and they admitted it. And obviously Brad made a lot of money in arbitration fees. So not that we're in law school here learning about arbitration, but obviously the objective is of using Brad. It's a win-win situation because he's not charging you anything. He's gathering back 100% of your sell fees or buyer fees. And obviously he's making his money. StubHub's paying him big bucks for arbitration. So every time we bring a case to Brad, StubHub pays arbitration, and that gets expensive quickly. Play the next clip, MCF. I feel like I'm an attorney.
So hopefully other folks out there do as well. And eventually, maybe we can make StubHub. Because so far, they think that they can not give you a buyer refund, not pay the seller for completed sales, penalize the sellers, and that there's going to be no repercussions. So I think Scott, has the same motivations that I do, that they should not be taking advantage of buyers and sellers. And I feel the same way. So hopefully other folks out there do as well. And eventually, maybe we can make StubHub do things the right way.
You think? You think we can make StubHub do the right things the right way? That's why it takes an army of every reseller, any buyers affected by StubHub to reach out to me so I can introduce you to Mr. Clements. We have literally been in partnership for 2 weeks. I think I've introduced him to triple dozen. I don't know, quite a few people, but we got many people to go. Play the last segment. MCM.
You have going on is that StubHub sees these large sellers as an opportunity to take a large amount of cash and to just sort of test people with these emails 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, so that StubHub can sit on more money, make it look like they have more cash on hand, make Wall Street a little more pleased. Nobody's that pleased when your stock is at under $6 a share, right, when you had an IPO at $24.50. But I think they're playing games and they're using these large sellers. So I think it's very important for large sellers. My message today would be, don't be patient with these people. They are going to string you along. So if you're not getting paid, it's your money. You deserve not only your full payments, but interest. And I think they should be paying you penalties because they have no explanation for what they're doing. And I think the worst behavior I'm seeing from StubHub right now is what they're doing to the large sellers.
So large sellers, and this obviously applies to, we deal with people here with Ticket Talk who've sold 2 tickets, and I deal with people that have sold thousands of tickets into the well of the 6 figures, into the 7 figures of what StubHub owes some people. So, guys, in a nutshell, it's not a coincidence that StubHub has issues with customer service. We all thought that was the case a year ago, 2 years ago, that they're unorganized, and they are very, very unorganized people. But it is very obvious that they are allegedly screwing over buyers and resellers on purpose every single day. And like I said a couple minutes ago, guys, to stop this, they're going to keep doing these practices. But if we can get every reseller and we can get a bunch of buyers to continue to take them to arbitration with Clements Law, things will change over time. It's not going to happen overnight. But their theory is, and I talk to a lot of sellers too, I feel like I'm selling legal services, which I am. I'm promoting legal services with Brad as a marketing partner. Is that a lot of you guys tell me that I'm too afraid to challenge StubHub because they're the biggest and I don't want to get kicked off the platform. So I get your point. They are number one by far still in the secondary. They're getting the most sales, but their logic is, since we are number one, since we don't have really much competitors in the space right now, we'll continue to bully you guys and continue to not pay out funds, continue to string along refunds for buyers, and therefore nothing will change if we don't take action. So if we don't take action, it'll be this way for many, many years to come. So collectively, this takes a mission from resellers that were affected. It takes a mission from buyers that were affected, and it's going to take all of us to roll up our sleeves and go to Brad, tell the story, have your ducks in a row, have your documents ready. If you don't have your documents ready, Brad can't help it. You got to have evidence in a case to show that you were wronged by StubHub. So a lot of you guys say, I don't have my stuff ready to go. Well, Brad can't help you if you don't have your stuff ready to go. So make sure you gather all your documents. You talk to me. If you want to talk to me beforehand, I can give you input. But Brad is obviously a godsend. He's representing everybody, buyers and sellers, with StubHub. And we are going to refer him until StubHub gets their act together. And this is personal. This is a marketing partnership, but this is personal. And this is just really sickening. This is why the secondary market is in a bad state right now. It's why that we're giving power to states to do these resale caps. So I can defend us all we want. We can talk about Live Nation having a monopoly again, which is obviously true. But if we continue as bad actors in the industry, as bad exchanges in the industry, such as StubHub, to continue these practices, it's going to give states that much more ammo to do these resale caps. And there's only so much that I can defend. You guys see that I defend every single day. There's so many good actors in the industry that do things the right way. They follow the rules and they sell in a free market. But if we continue to bust orders, bust sales, and we continue to have bad practices from exchanges, wronging sellers, wronging buyers, and that's how we're going to end the secondary market as we know it. So, guys, I encourage you, reach out to me. I'll introduce you to Brad if you were wrong by StubHub or, in fact, any other exchange. Brad Clements Law is the expert, and I will introduce you to him personally. So DM me with any questions, and let's make it a great rest of your Tuesday evening. We'll get back to tickets, NHL, NBA, Kentucky Derby, F1 in Miami, extremely hot ticket over the weekend as we head into May. You know, April brings showers, MCF, but May brings flowers. Talk tomorrow. Stay lean and clean.